Welcome to a new video. First, take a few seconds to get present. Notice your surroundings, notice your feelings and thoughts. You ready? Alright, let's go. So if you're living in the 21st century, you have definitely experienced the problem that you're working and all of a sudden you're on your phone, 30 minutes, 1 hour fly by, and you've just wasted time. And time is precious. So on average, 4 to 5 hours per day are spent on our phone. And I think that's crazy because that's not how I want to live my life. If I'm on my deathbed and I'm looking back at my own life, do I want to have a life where I look back on just being on social media and seeing how other people are living their life? Or do I want to have a life where I'm learning, I'm reading books, I'm learning new skills, I'm going out, I'm doing stuff? So what I want to explain today is 4 different levels of thresholds that we can use to be the architects of our own decisions, of our own choices. So what determines how we make these choices? First, you have to realize that attention, this precious thing that we have in our life, that we are capable of, is something that we can pay attention, or it can be grabbed by something external. So our attention is grabbed. And once your attention is grabbed, it doesn't take much effort anymore to pay attention. So we want to get to the point where we first pay a little bit of attention and then it's grabbed. But how do we design our life so that we are grabbed by the right things? And our attention can be grabbed by good things and it can be grabbed by bad things. And we have to decide what is what. And this is the big challenge that can really shape your life. So eventually you want to get to a point where the things that you want to do have a really low threshold and the things that you do not want to do have a really high threshold. And how do we get to that point? And the goal of this channel is to amplify your attention and learn to swim in this vast ocean of all the things that are constantly trying to grab our attention. So the first thing we need to understand, which comes from the book Nudge and also from Thinking Fast and Slow, is that there are 2 different parts in our mind, and one part is the automatic part of the automatic self and the other part is the reflective part or the reflective self. So what this means is that everything that goes automatic is more like a gut instinct, and everything that is reflective is something that we think about, that we use our cognition for. And the problem is that in case of using your phone when you don't really want to, your automatic self is being triggered, but you know, your cognition knows that you actually don't want this. So one example of nudging that they give in the book is that people who are addicted to gambling can put themselves on a list so that they are not able to enter casinos anymore. And what happens here is that their reflective self is aware of the weakness of their automatic self. So they know when they are in a cold state, when they are in a rational state, that they know themselves and they can be prone to gambling addiction. So they decide to sign themselves up onto this waiting list. So when they want to enter the casino, they can't enter it anymore. And this is an example of how we also want to design the choices of our lives so that we can be smarter than this trickster part that's playing tricks in our mind and that is just saying, oh, you know, maybe we should just check our phone because it could be something important. But deep inside you know that it's not something important and you just want to give yourself one more opportunity to check Instagram and to check Twitter and whatever. So the thing that we have to do is to realize that we have both of these parts in our psyche, especially the automatic self, because as we are rational, we tend to overestimate how rational and strong we are, but we just have to accept that there is this automatic part in ourselves, this part that constantly wants to get stimulated and constantly wants to escape from the things that the best version of ourselves knows that is important. So the different levels of thresholds in the example are that when we are working and we want to stay focused, the worst thing that we can do is just to have our phone laying right next to our laptop in our peripheral view. So the first easy step, like I said, we want to make the threshold higher for the things that we do not want to do. And we also don't want to be triggered by the things that are happening inside of our periphery. So the easiest thing I almost always do is just to put my phone at least behind my laptop screen, so these triggers or these stimuli from my phone is not entering my mind, and somewhere the trickster is not playing this trick on me of telling me that I should check my phone. So that's the first level of thresholds. The second level of thresholds is to put your phone away. So you can just put it in a cupboard or throw it on your bed. So the threshold is just higher a little bit more. And the next thing you can do is to turn your phone off, obviously, which is already a really good thing. And you will notice that you are falling into this ocean of focus and peace, but there is still the trickster or whatever, this voice in your mind that is whispering in your ear, hey, but what if my friends and family really need me? And that is why I bought this amazing Nokia 2017 3310, which has a battery life of, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. This is not a sponsor, obviously, but yeah, this really improved my life because there was no FOMO anymore, because I got a new SIM card and I also gave this number to a handful of family and friends. So every time I want to work, I just turn off my phone and there's no voice in my head saying, hey, what if anyone needs me? Because if it's really important, they can call me because they have my number. But the biggest problem is that we are fighting against the chaos of life. Like I said in another video, we are not fighting against ourselves, but for ourselves, against the constant chaos that is just inside of our life and head. And when we turn our phone off, it's just peace and quiet, and you can just do what you like to do and what the best version of yourself really wants to do. So you start reading, you start running, you start learning to cook, you start learning to do whatever is actually something that you want to do, instead of just being triggered constantly and just losing yourself in all the stimuli that is just adding complexity to your mind, but it's not creating a stronger sense of self. And what this is also doing, it relates to the video that I've made before about integration and differentiation. So what we are doing when we turn off our phone, we are differentiating. So we are becoming more unique, we are growing, and after a while we turn our phone back on, we chat with our friends, we visit them, we have nice dinners together, and we are integrating, but we are becoming a more complex human. So I can highly recommend you to just buy an old phone. It costed me maybe 35 euros including the SIM card. So it's really the best investment that I did last year. It gave me a lot of quiet time to work on the things that the best version of myself actually wants to do. So I want to tell a short story about last summer. It was my birthday and we were sitting around the campfire with a few friends, and they gave me this Kinder Surprise egg. You know, those eggs that you swallow whole, after which you realize that there was actually a toy inside and you have to wait for the next morning to be able to play with the toy. Well, those. So what we do with this chocolate egg is that we use it as an oracle. So we ask the egg a question. So I asked the egg, what kind of opportunity this year do I have to be looking out for? and which I wouldn't be able to see otherwise. And I opened it up, I cracked it open, and what was inside was a cute little subscribe button. No, I'm kidding, but you can subscribe. There was this little plastic rescue boat. It was also a submarine, and after a while everyone gave their own interpretation of what this could mean to my life. I didn't get it yet, but a few weeks later, as Steve Jobs also said, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. All of a sudden I realized it meant that when I turn off my phone, I'm diving under, I'm being under the radar, and this saves me from my own trickster or my own automatic self, and it gives me so much opportunity to do the things that I actually want to do. So I hope that this was really valuable as well, and that I could inspire you to buy this super simple dumb phone, because it will really improve your life. You will get back those hours and hours that you would normally spend on useless stuff. And I think that's totally amazing. So thank you for watching.